Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be listening to this podcast from. My name is Rise Mike Godfrey, and I want to welcome you specially to the weekly podcast on life in the university. I started a very interesting podcast, on life in university is a gift, right? It's a beautiful episode that helps you understand the four priceless gifts the university life gives to every student. All right. And last week I shared about the gifts of friendship and relationship. And I did mention that every student, all right, is designed with an inherent craving for four basic needs, all right. And these needs, like I shared with you last week, can only be satisfied by friends, relationship, and the people you've built or the people you have, a connection with during your stay in university. All right. Then I then share about the need to be supported. Okay, I talked about the need to be supported, and I helped you understand that support is in different types and in different sizes. All right, we have friends who show up for you, you know, as a form of spiritual support. We have friends that support you mentally. All right, when you need somebody to pray with you, to hold hands with you, to stand in faith with you, that's spiritual support, and that's very important. All right, and you have other friends who, of course, support you mentally. So while you might just be feeling down, they just say to you, "Oh, no, 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 don't worry, you're going to do it, and you can do this thing. It's not so hard. Don't worry, you've done it before. You can do it again." Those ones that tells you, Kai, you're very brilliant. Yeah, this exam question, you give the lecturer a marking scheme. All right, they're offering you mental support, and there's a big craving for that inherent in every student. There's a craving for that. There are others who shows up in terms of finances. All right, so financial support, they give you 1 naira to add to your 2 naira, right? And the rest of that. Then we have material support and academic support. So supports are truly in different types and in different sizes. But what is really important is that being supported or the need to be supported is one of the four basic needs every student is designed with, and you can try this out with yourself. All right, you could just try this out and really observe yourself for a week. Mhm. Observe your thinking pattern for a week. You will discover that inherently wired in you is that cravings. You just need to be supported, not because you're weak, not because you are there's not because you want to be too dependent on people. All right. However, there's just that natural need that is in there, and it's so beautiful that this need you know, cannot be met or satisfied by yourself alone. It has to be met or satisfied by relationship. All right. I also mentioned some names. All right. So we're a major support system, helping me in areas of my finances, material, academics, and others. And I concluded the section by asking you to carefully, reflect on your friends and relationship. And you will begin to appreciate this gift of friendship and relationship. All right, you have to reflect about it. When you do, all right, you begin to, appreciate the giftedness in friendship and in a relationship. Oh well, so today I'm going to be sharing with you on the need to be understood, the need to be appreciated, and to be loved. These are the three needs we were able to cover last week. All right, so I'm going to be sharing on these other needs, the need to be understood, and the need to be appreciated, and the need to be loved. But just before I go on, right? Just before I go on, let me ask you a question. Do you really have that one friend that can look at your face gently and immediately know that something is wrong with you and can in a moment tell that you are happy or you're sad or perhaps you're worried or maybe you're just acting up, you're just being weird? Do you have that one friend? Let me ask you that question again. Now, more slowly, more calmly, and more friendly. Do you have that friend or that one friend that when things are going on around you, can just look, observe you carefully, all right? Look at your face and walk up to you and tell you, what's wrong with you? Are you fine? Or that can already know that there's something wrong, that you're not happy, that perhaps you're sad, or can tell when you are in your happy moment, all right? When you're happy moment, and is even able to make you, able to turn your sadness into joy. Do you have that kind of friends that can see you doing some things funny and just know you're acting weird and knows what to tell you to stop, to make you stop, stop the weirdness, right? Do you have that kind of friend? Now, this is my conclusion. I think you do. In fact, I think we all do. The only reason you haven't noticed them is because you don't know that they are a gift to you. I'm definitely sure we all have people in our lives that are so meticulous, so observing, so loving. But where we miss it, like I began to share from last week, that we don't get to observe or we don't get to see their value. We don't get to appreciate, that connection we've built with them. We don't get to appreciate that gift or that giftedness that is contained in that relationship or in that friendship. So we think everything is casual or we think everything is a given. Oh, when I'm not fine, people should know I'm not fine. When I'm fine, people should know I'm fine. When I'm angry, people should know I'm angry. When I'm acting up, people should know I'm acting up. That's not always the case. Haven't you also observed that in those times when you're acting up, there were still people that didn't care. They're like, what's wrong with you? Better maintain. Yeah, so just give it to you. Do you understand? Right? And there are some that, regardless of what look you have or what kind of face you're wearing, either you're smiling or you're frowning, they don't care. But there are some that are really thoughtful. All right. So I want to now share with you about, I want to share with you on the need to be understood, to be appreciated, and to be loved from my own perspective. Of course, from my story, all right, from my story. And why I enjoy sharing stories with you is I know by the time I share mine with you, you are able, all right, you are able to think through and you are able to see your own experience through my own story. You are able to see your own self through my own story. All right, so I'm going to be focusing on a few stories. All right, and I want to share with you on. I'm going to be, of course, I'm going to be using names. I'm going to be calling names. You can see my pictures already on the screen, right? Awesome. So today I'm going to tell you about Mr. Austin King and some other personalities that have satisfied, one or more of my needs. All right. You see, if there's, let me start from Mr. King. If there's ever a friend that completely differs from me in terms of personality, in terms of personality traits and temperament, I'm sure that person is Mr. Austin King because um, I am extroverted by personality, and I'm a combination of the choleric and the melancholy. What that means is that oftentimes, especially when this was before I got to the understanding of how to manage my temperament and how to get the best of my personality traits. Before then, I realized that I could be very, very pushy. Too pushy, I could even say. It was either my way or no way. In other words, it is either we are going to my direction or we stay at home. It is either we are buying to my decision or we have no decision or we have no agreement. All right. I was a little bit now. Well, if I say a little bit, that means I'm trying to make that sound cool or coordinated. I was pushy, really, really pushy. All right, and I was also cruel. Yeah, I was cruel because I needed the choleric feature is one who is always seeking for results, right? So in the pursuit of seeking for results, and results will not come from me alone. Results comes from other people, other things, and the rest of that. I was cruel and placing so much pressure, and I was a little bit, not a little bit, I was authoritative. All right. So when I began to exhibit, this pushiness, being too pushy on people, being too placing people too much on pressure, being cruel and sounding so authoritative. But when I began to exhibit all of this, people began to call me names like, and they were right. Like, called me names like Mr. Pride, or you're proud, boastful, you're arrogant, and all of that. And now, because of my temperament, for me, it didn't matter, right? I am least motivated, or I'm least moved by hearsay. What you're saying about me doesn't really push me to the right or to the left. I'll just hear what you've said, and wherever I want to go, I choose to go. If I choose to go to the right, I go to the right. If I choose to go to the left, I go to the right. I go to the left. Not because of what you said. That is how I'm built. I still have this conversation sometimes with my mom, and she said, that thing you decided to do, that's the thing you will do. Nobody will change it again. She will smile. And I'm like, no, 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 I've changed now. Do you understand? But sometimes I feel sad when people don't understand me. All right. I feel sad when my words and my action are always misinterpreted. All right. I always feel sad. Sometimes, sometimes really, or for something else, until I found Minister King. And I can't really say I found him. I gave you the story of how we met. I believe God brought him my way, all right, to make me a better person. All right. So until God brought him my way, all right, um, I did some things in a way that wasn't really, was not really, in line with my intentions. All right. Now, most times, what I found out is Minister King understood my intention most times. So he understood that my intention were not wrong. What was wrong is that I don't know how to express my intention in a way that sounds polite to everybody, right? So I was wrong in the way, in how I talked about it, how I expressed the intention. And now this is where it's now very surprising to me. Mr. King is an introvert. He's a combination of a phlegmatic and a sanguine, very meek and very funny. I could talk and rant for hours when I'm offended. I could talk, and this was before now. Now I now know about emotional intelligence, right? But before, I could talk and rant for hours, all right. And this guy, Mr. King, especially when I'm offended, I could talk. I would not say a word or fight me. I would just be blabbing. He won't say a word. He'll just be looking at me. He won't say a word. And when I'm done with my blabbing, sometimes he keeps with me and tell me, "You don't finish, man." And I'll like, I'll come back again. He won't say anything, just let me. This guy taught me that life is not all about being right, but it's all about being kind. That you don't have to prove a point. That when you're right and you're still misunderstood, or when you're right and things doesn't go your way, you don't have to always fight for it. Just be kind. Let it go. Let it go. All right. I've never seen this guy, yo. I've never seen this kind of a guy. He never keeps scores with people. I'm not sure I've seen Mr. King keep scores. Very peaceful, very easygoing. Sometimes I really admire him. And there's one virtue he has. I was sharing with him the other day. I said, I wish I can have 10% of your calmness. I mean, your ability to tolerate people, your ability to, you know, understand with people, I will really, really be happy, because it's always a shortcoming, and I'm consistently improving on that area, consistently improving on that area, because all my life I'm going to be working with people. I have a team, all right? I have a business team, I have a life university team, and several teams. I have teams whom I'm a leader of, right? And you have to manage their attitude, you have to manage their emotions. So Mr. King taught me so well about that, right? The times, or during those times where I acted funny, one thing I know he would do, he just ignore my attitude. He will ignore my attitude until I came to my senses and apologize. I respect this guy. All right, Mr. King, if you're listening to this podcast, I want to tell the students, the global student community, that I love you. You're really a good friend. All right, I respect this guy so well. He helped me grow from my childish attitude, to a more matured version of myself, and I'm so grateful. Right, the second picture you see, was a week or during my birthday or during his birthday. I can't remember now. We went to the track, and and we took some beautiful picture. Okay, so I was really understood, he showed me rich understanding. Now let me tell you about the second person, and I can't wait to share. Now, she's by name Shion Akinshola. This is a good example of a friend who knew how to appreciate people. My God, she knew how to appreciate people. And just because I'm a person of faith, I understand the place of gratitude. I understand that when you are grateful, right, you open more doors or open more access to receive more of what have been done to you, right? It's something very common. When you say thank you to people, or when you show, or when you show it to people that you're really grateful for their help, their support and the rest of that, the people who you're expressing those gratitude will be pushed to do even more. I've seen this played out in my life several times, and that is really, really a fact, right? So she was an example of a good friend who knew how to appreciate people. I mentored Shiwan as my school daughter for 3 years, for the space of 3 years, right? And in that period, she showed profound gratitude even when I thought I had had enough of her, from our disagreement. I told you my kind of personality and how I behave before now. All right. I can disagree on different opinions, so even if I already had enough from our agreement on her choices of friends, I was really, 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 I was really, really fierce about that. I told her there are certain friends you must move out with, there are certain friends you must cut off with. We had disagreements over the choice of our friends, over hangout, where she goes to, who she visits, who visit her, how long the person stayed. Don't mind me. That was really childish. Okay, yeah, she's not your biological daughter, she's your school daughter. But don't mind me. I was driven by zeal and by love. All right, and but regardless of how I showed all of this, regardless of how I was trying to map out or usurp authority, certain times I did, she still appreciated my contribution. In fact, she would always say, without your contribution, my dreams of becoming an excellent student would have not been fully realized, right? So she's always appreciating in kinds and in words. What a lady. She graduated last year. She graduated as one of the best students. I think the third best student from her Department of Sociology, Natural State University. And the day she picked up her certificate, I looked at it and I said, wow. In fact, I think I should look for that picture. I didn't find the picture. I would have placed it on this slide. I looked at it and I said, wow, this is beautiful, right? What a lady. She was able to learn so much from me in a little while because of her heart of gratitude. After I'm done with all of my drama, or after she's done with all of her drama, certain times we even had issue. Minister King has to interfere and settle us. Can you imagine my friend settling, a friend of mine is now settling by issue I have with my school daughter. That will show you how far I had, the kind of beautiful, deep relationship I have with Minister King. All right. Now, somebody might be wondering, who's that third beautiful lady? I'm seeing on your slide. I'll help you. Don't worry, I'll help you. Right. Now, many people have shown me profound love. In fact, if I have to go on, I wouldn't be rounding up anytime soon because the list are so endless. But I'm just trying to pick a few names, right? Because we can't talk about it for all day. We don't have all of the time. All right. But I'm just trying to pick a few names and to just draw some lessons from them so I can help you understand the people you have around you. I can help you see clearly the people you have around you so you can begin to appreciate them. All right. So the beautiful lady you're seeing there goes by the name Sofina. All right. You know, how I met Sofina is a very interesting one. She was the first lady I had a sincere crush on in the university. One of those days. I'm sharing this genuinely, and I have to laugh. Permit me, I have to laugh, but that's just the truth, right? So, in one of those days, in 100 level, right? In 100 level, you take the general courses. We call it general studies. You know, one day I looked at Sofina when I arrived class. We had this very big hall we used for the GST. You know, I looked at Sofina from the start of the GST class. It started 8 a.m. to the end of the class, and I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I'm serious. I was sat a little bit far away from her. But that position I sat, I could clearly see what she was doing. That very day, she was on blue, right? She had a pen, no, a pencil, and I think she was sketching some flowers while the lecture was going on. I was so distracted. In fact, that day I learned nothing. I did not learn anything, and it didn't matter to me. All right, but I just fell in love with a person. There's something you call love at first sight. Is it infatuation you call it now? Well, I'm not a relationship coach, but you can help me with that on the comment section. All right. But I was so shy to speak with her, until my friends, remember the friends I shared with you, Sawami, Victor, and Caleb, and, they found a way and helped me make a connection with her. And, would later go on to have a very beautiful relationship. We had a very beautiful relationship on campus, but in spite, why am I sharing this story? In spite of my inconsistent character of flaring up, I had some anger issues then, right? I flared up unnecessarily, and I was also a little bit authoritative. She still showed profound love in sacrificing her time, her effort, and resources for me. What a lady! What a lady! So beautiful. And she was so, so, so cheerful. Yeah, she was cheerful. I'm not sure I've seen her with a long face. She's always, always peaceful, smiling. She wasn't hard. She wasn't that hard lady. Very beautiful, and I always enjoyed my time with her. We had a very beautiful relationship, right? And just so beautiful. I have big grins on my as I think about it. Now, I know you enjoyed my stories. I know, of course, you should enjoy it. I know you enjoyed every bit of it. But what if I told you that I never saw any of this relationship I've walked you through or this friendship as a gift until I graduated from the university? It was after a careful time of reflection that I began to value friendship and relationship, the friendship and the relationship I had as a university student. And now I don't want, it shouldn't be the same for you. Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be the same for you. You don't have to wait until you graduate before you begin to enjoy the giftedness of friendship and relationship. That would be too late. You don't want to get there. You don't want to get out of school before you start reconnecting and say, "Oh, wow, it's true. This guy." No, 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 no. I want to help you be so intentional about those people you have now. I want you to be so intentional about those people who, I believe destiny has brought your way, who understands you, who appreciates you, who love you, who supports you in different ways. I want to open your eyes to see them. This is really the essence of the gift of friendship and relationship. Come on, guys. It's one of the priceless gifts the university life gives to you and gives to every other student out there, right? So after I learned this in the hard way, after I learned this, if I had known these things I'm teaching you during my university days, if I had a full understanding of them, I would have found a way of maximizing all of my relationship with them. I would have created beautiful memories. But thank God, I'm still much in connection with, most of them, and I'm grateful. All of them I share with you, I'm in connection with all of them. But this is, of course, after I realized the place of friendship and the place of a relationship. You don't want to go through school being an island. Some of you, I don't know how you think, but respectfully speaking, don't be caught up with, that saying of it's me, myself, and I. That's a poor saying. That's really, really a poor saying. You can't do life, in university in isolation. You can't exist in isolation. You need friends. You need relationship, right? I sometimes I get to see this, I'm not the social type. What do you mean you're not the social type? What I don't understand. What do you mean by you're not the social type? What's that? You don't have to be a social type to develop relationship. You don't have to be. You don't have to be like, the arise that's always outgoing, always want to smile with people or be friends with people. No, no, no. You don't have to. You just have to have that heart that receive people. Let me give you this short story while I proceed. You know, um, I'm currently in Enugu State. I'm making this record from Enugu State. All right. Yesterday while I had to leave my room, right? I left my room. I went to the hotel, bar and recreation center just to do a few things to pen some thoughts down about this very podcast. And while I did what I was doing, I never knew a certain guy was noticing me, right? This guy, he's the security officer of the hotel where I'm lodged, right? So he came into the place. I was like, I like you. I was like, ah, really? See, yes, I like there's something about you. I don't know, but there's something about you I just like. I love the way you carry yourself. I like the way you just, you put yourself together. You respect yourself so well. I was like, bro, I respect you so well. I like you so well. What's your name? Please, I should get your number immediately. And he said, what do you take? Do you drink? I said, no, I don't take alcohol. He said, all right, what do you take? I said, okay, I'm fine. I'm fine with water. And immediately he went to the freezer, brought out a very chilled bottle of water, give to me. I was so excited. We exchanged contact. Coincidentally, he bears my son name, Michael, and I was so excited. Gave me his first contact, gave me his second contact, and he's an Eastern guy. I understand a bit of Igbo, and I was speaking Igbo, and I was flowing with him, and do you get what is life without relationship? I don't know where this guy would turn up for me. I don't know where I would turn up for him. So I won't say no, no, no. I live in Natural State. I just visited Enugu, so I shouldn't be. No, I shouldn't form an alliance with. I shouldn't have a relationship with Enugu people, bro. Life is all about relationship. So after I learned this, I started to make conscious decision to form good relationship with people. In fact, during my first year in my master's program, I ensured I developed beautiful relationship with classmates, lecturers, and the rest of that. And some of these relationships still continues to inspire me. But that's not all. Now I've made a decision to become a gift to other people, helping and serving other people with my time, with my resources, and with my effort. And it is what I'm doing here with you on this podcast. I'm giving out of my giftedness, I'm giving out of my experience, I'm giving out of my intellectual abilities to serve you, to help you live a better life in university. So I have now developed or have now grown, not just to identify the relationship around me, but to be that relationship other people want. To be that help to people, to be that person that provides support financially, mentally, spiritually to people. All right. I just want to be that guy that people can call and say, oh, bro, this is going on, this is going on. Please, can I get some advice? Right? It should be same with you. In fact, if you are in 200 level, you should be a good mentor to those in 100 level. If you are in 300 level, you should be a good example and a good mentor. People in 200 level or students in 200 level should be able to reach out to you freely, right? Should be able to reach out to you freely. If you're in 400 level, you should be able to mentor 300, 200, and 100 level. Do you understand? Yes. You don't form relationship because they're older than you or because you're younger than them. No. It's either you can serve them or you can help them understand the giftedness of relationship. So as I wind up, I want to ask you a few questions. Are you ready to become a gift to your friends today? Are you ready to, begin to appreciate the gift of friendship and relationship? I'll ask you that question again. Are you ready to become a gift to your friends? Are you ready to be a gift to people, serving people with your abilities, with your giftedness, with your time and resources? Are you now ready to appreciate the gift of friendship and relationship? I tell you, it's really priceless. Really, really, really priceless. Wow, what a beautiful time we've had together. What a beautiful time. What a beautiful time. You see, you don't want to miss next week's episode. I'll be sharing on the gift of exposure because without exposure, you question on the comment section, or you can write to me using 07032 all right, or you can reach me on mail on arisemichaelgodfrey@gmail.com, or you can reach me various on various media platforms, all right, and all of that. So just before I go on, what is the most silly thing you did in university because of ignorance? I want to know. I want you to share with me because we're going to be talking about exposure. So I want to find out what was the most silly thing you did in university because of ignorance. All right, I like to know. All right, until next time, my name is Urias Michael Godfrey, and I love you.